Yeah, well, I ended up having pretty much a whole pack of about 30 sausages, about 20 odd cheese and onion sausage rolls.
Then what did you have for lunch?
A couple of pork pies, a couple of sandwiches, a couple of chicken tikka kebab stick things, and some grapes.
Nice. So no sandwiches then. So that's a good way to.
I said there was 2 sandwiches in there, chicken and cheese.
How long would a pork pie have to be in the boot of your car for before you thought you probably shouldn't eat it?
For me, because I'm quite fussy, probably about an hour. Whereas, what's your?
I got to work the other morning and saw that in the boot of my car, having fallen out of a shopping bag the night before, was a pack of 6 mini Melton Mowbray pork pies. So I took them in and had them for my lunch.
Well, they are Melton Mowbray ones. I think they're probably...
So they're all right being in the car overnight, are they?
Yeah.
It wasn't that warm.
Tesco one, then I would have said no. But we need to go out to Melton Mowbray. Best thing from Melton Mowbray sounds like a good idea, and it should happen.
It should. Fly Sheet, I think the best way to avoid getting sand in your sandwich, let's get serious for a moment. Rather than have a sandwich, have a wrap, because then it's sealed at the bottom, and you can put as much sand on that as you want. It is not getting mixed in with your cheese.
It's got a point. Can't go wrong there. Or, like you say, don't take one, or take blanket with you.
But how would a blanket help?
Well, I'm a bit confused about... Are you making these on the beach?
No, you're not. But why would you be making them on the beach?
Oh, you just... If you sat
on
a
the
blanket
beach
or the wall...
eating your sandwich.
If you sat on a blanket, you're not going to get sand on your hands, are you? Because I assume you get sand on you when you sit down, you put your hand in the sand, you sit down.
Yeah. Or if you've been in the sea. Or
I was afraid of the sea. So I can't go in.
For 30 years, I've been trying to skim stones on the sea.
And
I've never been able to do it. I did it the other day, and it was just happening over and over again. I don't know if it was just the weather conditions. They always say in cricket, if it's an overcast day, you can swing the ball more. And it was an overcast day. It was a sort of weather where I still had my coat on, and I just picked up this flat stone and just give it a go, and it goes skipping off. So I call the kids over. It happens again, and I'm there. They're feeding me flat stones, and I'm just skimming them off the sea. Bounce, 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 bounce. I'm only ever going to the seaside on cloudy days now, because I assume that's ideal stone skimming weather.
I picked up a couple of stones, tried to do it. My daughter watches me, and then just starts lobbing stones into the sea because she can see that I'm not getting any luck with it. She thinks that's how you skim now. So from her point of view, I was just... She's a bit afraid of the water at the moment. I'm trying to convince her that it's nothing to be scared of. But now she thinks if I stone the sea, it'll calm down.
She wants to go to Legoland, which she thinks is just a land of water.
Yeah, I don't really get the logic. She keeps telling me she'll go in the sea at Brighton because that's where she was originally afraid of it. She's going to tackle her fear there.
Why would anyone want to go in the sea at Brighton? They just get stones on their feet.
I know, it's just the rockiest, weirdest beach. Apparently they're going to buy sand in from another place.
They want to, because it's not a beach at the moment. It's a driveway.
Pretty much is, isn't it? It's
It
just a massive driveway full of just dirt and rubbish.
Yeah. Synaptic Flare on Twitter has said, what's the best or worst UK seaside resort you've been to and why? I think we've covered worst, or I've covered worst, Skegness. Anywhere that has a theme park with a bookmaker's in and a gun salesman. That's pretty unusual.
I can't believe... I mean, it might be because I grew up near it, but I can't believe anyone goes to Southend on holiday.
I don't think people go on holiday.
People
there,
do. There's actual holiday camping parks there and stuff, and I just think that's bizarre.
I think the best seaside resort I've been to, though, is probably Brighton, despite the fact the beach is horrible. The pier is great, and it's got several casinos. And last time I was there, we stumbled back drunk in the middle of the night and almost got attacked by a roided-up psychopath.
Yeah, and people offered us sex from their minivan, didn't they?
Exactly, and can't really go wrong.
Yeah, so, Brighton definitely wins.
Some strange person, Nick B188.
Never heard of her
off of Twitter, never heard of him. Well, we assume it's a her. No way I know him.
Yeah, it could be a man.
Could be. Which place do you think has the worst and best seaside folk?
Brighton has the worst people.
Really?
I'm just... because I know Nick B's from Brighton. So.
Do you? It sounds like you know this person.
The B stands for Brighton. It's Nick Brighton 188.
Oh, I see.
I saw that when they messaged, I saw it on the thing. But, no, I don't know. I think the people when we went to Skegness were the weirdest, weren't they?
You have to clarify what seaside folk are, because the fact that they've used the phrase seaside folk means they are specifically referencing my seaside folk. Seaside folk, you don't get seaside folk in Brighton, you don't get seaside folk in Bournemouth, because A, they have universities, B, they have motorways, C, they're not that far from real civilization.
People just work there 'cause they live there.
Yeah. Seaside folk live in places like Skegness and Hunstanton and Great Yarmouth and Cromer, where there is nothing for miles and miles around but seaside towns and weird places. That's where seaside folk are from. And when it comes to Seaside folk, you don't get best and worst. They're all just weird. They're all weird in different ways. They're terrifying, but hilarious. You don't want to be anywhere near them, but you can't stop looking at them.
I forgot to tell you, there's an example of a Seaside person at Hunstanton the other day. I was walking along, there's that sort of theme park bit. My daughter wanted to go on their roller coaster, I'm saying with like speech marks on it, because it went round, it didn't go up and down or fast, it just moved. But while I was waiting for her, there was this woman selling sweets, and she kept doing this really weird dance at me to say, come and buy some sweets, but it was kind of a, oh, will you, won't you, will you, won't you, like that, and I'm like, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just watched her do this dance, like, oh, and I'm thinking, no, you're not enticing me over. I'm just standing here waiting for my family. No. And she just did that for ages. She constantly just danced at me, trying to get me to come over and buy sweets, and I just was like, I'm not even remotely enticed.
Were you paying attention when you were in Hunstanton?
Well, I'd like to think so.
Would you be able to tell me, without having to think about it or research it, who or what the Wash Monster is?
Yeah, definitely. The Wash Monster wasn't even learned about on the day I went, Saturday. I've known about the Wash Monster for years.
You didn't go on Saturday, I went on Saturday.
Yeah,
You're
Friday
a liar.
I went, sorry. The Wash Monster's their amphibious device, machine.
Yeah, I don't really know where it goes or what it's for.
It goes to Seal Island.
What the hell's Seal Island?
No, last time I went, I really wanted to go on it, and just as we got to it, it pulled away, and I was like, ugh. And so my wife was like consoling me, we'll go next time. And the same thing happened this time. We got there, like I hadn't remembered it existed. I got there and I said, the Wash Monster. We can go on it. And she went, yeah, we can. And then it had gone, so we couldn't. She said, next time. But I read about it. I read it goes to Seal Island. And then we were trying to decide, because it goes off down to, like, if you're standing facing the sea, it goes to the right. And I don't know we were trying to figure out what direction that would be. Because
that direction is that's east. That's going east.
yeah, so it'd be going out into the channel.
Yeah.
And
Well, no, it wouldn't be going to the channel.
Channel.
We've had this discussion with you before. It's nowhere near the channel. Did you not try and convince me at some point that France was east of Brighton or something? Some weird nonsense.
I thought if you went south from Brighton, you'd miss France and Spain. But it turns out, no, you just hit France. Because I thought we were further out from France than we are. That's my logic then. This time, I don't mean the channel. I know that's the bottom bit, between just the gap between England and France. But there's the whole, obviously, the sea between.
The Wash is where you are.
But if you keep going out of the Wash,
yeah, you end up in the North Sea.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Not the channel.
North Sea. The North Sea's above the channel, and I couldn't remember what it was called.
Have you? Well, you have been to Skegness. You've been there with me. When you're at Skegness, you see all the windmills out at sea. Skegness is opposite Hunstanton. From Hunstanton, you can see the coast opposite you.
I couldn't.
Well, I could. From Hunstanton, you can't see the windmills. I think they're only visible from one side. It was quite confusing.
Yeah, unless they've taken them down.
Perhaps they did. In the 3 weeks between me going to Skegness and then to Hunstanton, they've removed them just to mess with my mind.
We were trying to work out, because I said to my wife, I was like, because I couldn't remember where we were on the Wash, which is like a U shape, isn't it? Sort of say. And I couldn't remember what point of the Wash we were on. So I was saying, well, is the other side of that? Because I couldn't see the other side of it. So you're saying you could see just the other beach.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm saying to her, well, is the other side of that still England? Or...
Oh, Jesus.
No, because I couldn't see it. I didn't know there was land there. I was saying, if I kept going in that direction, will I hit Europe, or will I hit,
Australia's just over there.
The other side of the Wash. And so then we were trying to figure out, and the Wash Monster goes off towards the North Sea, so out of the Wash sort of way. But it
goes all the way to Finland. That's where Seal Island
between,
is.
the Wash and
Finland
that has seals on it, apparently, that it goes to. But it manages to do it in like an hour round trip, so it can't be that far out.
Yeah, Finland.
Yeah, I imagine so, Finland.
We've got a question from some fella called Bouncy Ball on Twitter. Never heard of him. He wants to know if we've ever witnessed rock being made with the name running through it. Apparently it's a masterwork of confection. Have you ever seen rock being made?
I'm sure I have, but I can't...
I've seen it in Great Yarmouth.
I think, because I was going to say, I went to Great Yarmouth with my family. When we were talking about a minute ago, so I'm sure I've been there, because I read the word key wrong. I read it as quay. But I'm sure we saw rock being made there, but I can't remember how they did it. I don't remember it being so impressive.
I think this question stemmed from my question that I put on Twitter, because someone mentioned candy floss and rock in the same sentence, and I thought, hang on, they're both just melted sugar, basically. So I said, is rock just squashed up candy floss? But apparently the opposite's true. It's basically really stretched candy floss. If you stretch candy floss...
Like pulled pork.
Yeah, it eventually becomes rock, which is the sugar equivalent of pulled pork.
Soft or hard rock?
What?
Soft or hard rock.
There's such a thing as soft rock.
It's the only rock.
Are we talking about music now?
No. No, we
soft rock. I don't believe that exists.
Yeah, it does.
Explain.
For years.
Are you talking about nougat?
No. For years, I thought stick of rocks were soft because my nan always used to buy them for us as kids, and they were always soft. So you bite into it, and you'd be like, and you just bite through it, and you could chew on it.
Did she just leave them on the dashboard of the car in the sun?
Hear me out here, because for years I thought that's what they were like, and then when I bought one myself, and it was rock hard, I was so confused, and just thought, has she been giving me mouldy sticks of rock for years? And for years I just assumed, because my nan, bless her, never really cared for use-by dates and whatnot. And I remember I had a cousin, he's about a decade younger than me, and his mum, he was about 4, and she gave him a choc ice. And his mum sort of looked at her, went out into the freezer, come back and went, these choc ices went off 8 years ago. Just battered it out of her son's hand. So it was quite conceivable that I'd been eating like massively out-of-date sticks of rock. But when we were at Brighton last, I was in a shop and they had most of their rock was normal rock, and then they had a whole segment for soft rock. And that was exactly like the one my nan bought, and it was awesome. And I much prefer that. Is excellent. That tastes really nice. Tastes good. It's really well
when you
made.
walked into that section, did the Eagles start playing?
Yeah, they should have done. But that is the best. If you've never had soft sticks of rock, they are the best because you don't want to have to chew like much. Surely you want to just eat through it, and it's really nice and easy to eat. You don't want to be breaking your face on a bloody stick of rock. But yeah.
Nice. Lee McElwain off of Twitter has said, are pornographic playing cards available anywhere apart from the Seaside? I'm asking on behalf of a friend. I know for a fact they are. They were available with FHM magazine in about 2007 because I have some that I play poker with in the garden in the summer.
Nice. I remember someone having a mug that did that. I know we discussed mugs last week that changed with heating them.
And we also got sent a link for them as well, didn't we?
I want to know, just while I remember, that link we got sent had a Pac-Man one on it. Now, as that cools down, does Pac-Man run around eating the things and eating the chips?
It'll have 2 settings. It'll have hot and cold. It won't suddenly start animating.
Because I'm disappointed.
You don't understand how heat-sensitive mugs work, do you?
As it goes cold, the eyes shut on it.
Yeah, that's because it's getting cold at the top, so it's changing back to its other image.
So what I'm saying is if it's getting cold at the top and working its way down, will Pac-Man suddenly start moving differently when it's cold?
Well, you'd need 3 images to do that. You'd need an image. You'd need 2 blank images for hot and cold, and a moving image for cooling down, and it wouldn't work like that.
I suppose as it goes cold, Pac-Man would just appear all the way.
Yeah.
There'd be millions of Pac-Man, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's rubbish.
It is rubbish. What we got here? Gary Radford on Twitter. What are your seaside traditions? Fish and chip lunch, hours in the arcades, or family arguments? I think we've covered most of our seaside traditions. It is go to the seaside, get fish and chips, have an ice cream, go and annoy the weird seaside folk, and go and play the 2p machines for a bit.
I bet it did cause an argument this time by the fact that I basically went and sat in the car. My wife wasn't ready to go home.
You are a miserable arsehole.
No, the thing was, I thought we were done. So I'm like, right, we've done everything we've said we were going to do. They played on the beach for a bit. I had to sit with the baby because the pram couldn't go on the beach, and so I was just eating my ice cream. And little greedy little bugger was demanding my ice cream off me.
Your rum ice cream.
Yeah, I gave him a little bit. He wanted more. I gave him a little bit. He wanted more. And I thought, yeah, all right, rummy, leave it to me, you know. But so me and him ate my ice cream. And then they said, oh, we're done on the beach now. So I said, well, what else are we going to do? Oh, nothing. We'll go in the shops. So I don't want to go in them. So I get in the car, and then we're about halfway home, and she goes, I didn't want to go home. We were going to have fish and chips and do some more stuff. And I said, well, you could have said that before I got in the car. So yeah, family arguments is kind of that and Rob, but I felt like shit, so I'm gonna let that one slide because normally we don't. But we go in the arcades all the time, definitely. I hate those ones. It annoys me that they exist now, really, because I don't really get the point. I think they've taken all of the magic and fun out of an arcade and just put crap in its place. But the ones where you don't win money, you win tickets. They drive me insane. This
one that we got a £5 out of, it also came with a big block of tickets as well. I don't know what they were for. We just brought them home.
You take them to the booth and you trade them in for a prize.
So we got a prize and a £5.
Yeah, but wow. The prize would have been... Because the thing was, the only time that's ever been good in my life was we were at Brighton again, and we'd been playing on them, that's normal, but then this massive group of blokes, who must have been there on a stag do or something, just said to my brother-in-law, he was with my daughter, they were playing on a machine, and he just went, oh, give these to your little girl, and just gave him a massive ball of, like, I don't know how many hundred of tickets, and then he was playing on this machine, he put like 10p in his machine, it was one of these ones where you have to press a button as a light goes over, and he'd been putting money in that, I don't know whether he was just trying to time it right or what, he was just doing it. My sister walks up and goes, let me have a go, and just hits the machine on the button, bang, hits the light straight away. The machine ran out of tickets. The bloke had to come and refill it so it could churn out more tickets for her to win.